Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio, and today we've got an update about Ditto. You see, when Ditto came around, we all thought this was one of the coolest things we'd ever seen in the Pokémon TCG, and it was, incidentally. It absolutely was. It's awesome. Essentially, the way it works, I'm sure most of you have opened Pokémon Go by now, but the way it essentially works is that you don't ever actually pull a Ditto. You pull yourself either a Bidoof, a Numel, or a Spinarak. And then, if you see the correct little logo, then it is actually a Ditto, and you peel the top of the card off, and underneath you are left with a Ditto. And when you're doing openings of the pack, it's pretty easy to tell when you get to the Ditto. The Ditto is, quite a bit thicker. You can tell it's wider. You can feel the difference in the card. But of course, that is to be expected, because there's literally a sticker stuck over it. And it is worth pointing out, cards like the Bidoof are not legal. When they're just Bidoof, you have to actually peel off. So if you want to play Bidoof, you cannot play a Bidoof sticker on a Ditto. You've got to actually find a Bidoof. That Bidoof is only legal if you peel it, but then it's not legal as a Bidoof. It's legal as a Ditto. And this, we all kind of figured, and that was fine, and we had a ruling very, very quickly. We were told nice and clearly, no, obviously you cannot play the card with the Ditto sticker on, which, was kind of obvious. You have to play it as a Ditto after peeling the sticker, or it goes in your binder and looks pretty. Either is good. But we had an issue over in Taiwan, and what happened was that there were complaints going around. People realised that the Ditto was actually thicker. And I'm not talking about the Ditto with the sticker on. I'm talking about after you peel the sticker off, the Ditto was bigger. So check this image here of a Solrock stuck on top of a Ditto. You will notice that actually the Ditto is visible around the edges. And Pokemon over in Taiwan acknowledged this. They said, yeah, you know what, actually you're right, we know this. There is an issue with the Ditto being a bit too big. We'll deal with it. Well, the good news is they have gone and dealt with it. A couple of days ago, they did go and put this note on the official Facebook page. Enhanced Refill Pack Pokemon Go Compact Card, all monsters lack size problem, main card brand measures to exchange. Look, we're Google translating, we're doing our best. I can't read this. Cumulative exchange available starting on July the 22nd, and it runs until December the 31st. Basically, you can send away your Ditto, which is too big, and they replace it with a Ditto, which is not too big. Now, might I suggest not doing this? Honestly, I wouldn't do this. Now, I didn't open any Chinese language Pokemon Go. I unfortunately do not have this card. I wish I did. Because this has now become like a really fun curiosity. This has become a weird card. I've got some more examples I'll share with you in a moment. But this has become kind of a weird card. Clearly what they've done now is they've started, reprinting Pokemon Go with the correct size Ditto. There's no way I'm sending in this old style Ditto. Why would I? That's a little bit rubbish. I want the old style Ditto. That's what I want, ladies and gentlemen. I want the one that's a curiosity that's too big. So no, there is absolutely no way I'm sending this in and exchanging it. But it is kind of interesting that they've gone and done this because, well, this takes a lot. Like, it's a lot of effort for Pokemon to turn around and go, you know what, yeah, we actually did print this card wrong. It's too big, let's go ahead and exchange it. Because then they've got to reprint it with the correct size. They've got to actually organize this exchange. They've got to run the exchange. But you know what? This isn't the first time it's happened, and I've got to say, Pokemon have actually been pretty good at fixing this. I mean, one of the absolute best examples of this, and I adore this so much, was the Victini that was printed as a promo, an event promo over in Japan. Because you see, what they tried to do was print this alternate art Victini with the Spreading Flames and Energy Burst attack. What they actually did was they printed the wrong one. Because remember, there were two Victini Vs that have actually been printed in the Sword and Shield era. There was the one that we got in Sword and Shield, and then there was the one that came around in Battle Styles. And Victini, it was supposed to be a reprint of the one from Sword and Shield, which for what it's worth is probably the better of them. It was supposed to be that one, the same as we got in our League Battle deck, but they went and gave the new artwork, but they printed the Battle Styles Victini attacks on it and gave it out at a tournament. Now, this actually created a brilliant situation, because there are people like our good friend, the lovely Antoine Boulet, who went to the tournament and got that Victini. But then, Pokemon turned around and went, yeah, actually, like, that's the wrong card. Sorry about that. And incidentally, that card is not legal because it's got the wrong artwork. They said, yeah, sorry about that. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to send you a corrected version, but you can keep the old one, which incidentally was absolutely amazing. So then they printed out this new version, which does have the correct attacks from the Sword and Shield Victini. And then they went and sent that out to people as well. But what this actually did, the way this actually ended up working, was Pokemon turned around and went, hey, so you know that super rare promo card you got, which is worth a bunch of money because not many people have it? Well, now we're going to make that card a bit more valuable because it's now officially an error. And we're going to send you a new version, which is just as rare as the old version, because we're only sending it out to people who got this in the first place, and there weren't very many people that got it in the first place. So now people like Antoine, who actually ended up with the card in the first place, now have two of these super rare promos, and these things are very easily done. I mean, the Victini is by far my favourite example, literally printing the wrong card onto the new artwork. And it's, you know, we've all messed up at work, right? I'm willing to bet everybody watching this can go, yeah, you know what? That does make sense. I understand that. We've all been there, ladies and gentlemen. We've all been there. Of course, there was the Chandelure that was printed in Sword and Shield 8 a little while ago in Fusion Arts over in Japan. And this one, and it's still, every time I mention this in a video, I get a bunch of comments of people going, Wassy, I don't get it. But basically, you can see it circled here. They're not supposed to, the way Chandelure art works, you're not actually supposed to have the horizontal lines are supposed to stop at Chandelure's eyes. They're not supposed to keep going around the center of Chandelure backwards. And these circled bits on the image on the screen showed lines on Chandelure that shouldn't actually be there. I mean, I actually like showing off the Chandelure sleeves. They show it really clearly. You'll notice there is a horizontal line going between Chandelure's eyes, but it stops at the eyes. It doesn't keep going around the back. But then it actually does in the artwork, which is a mistake. And this one was a little bit quieter, but Pokemon did actually correct this in the end. They did end up reprinting it without the lines going around. And then that card exists. So there is both an error and a corrected version of that Chandelure. And real error cards, remember, do end up being worth a little bit more money, so that's why I would not ever send back something like an error Ditto. It is, you know, kind of awesome. Of course, as much as we've seen these corrections happen, and we have, they don't always get corrected. So, for instance, we could look at Cinderace, which was printed with the wrong retreat cost, and that just never got corrected. Just never happened. It's always going to have the wrong retreat cost. Should have been printed with a retreat cost of 2. It actually got printed with a retreat cost of 1, which is too low. There was an official errata that was issued, so if you play this card, it's not a particularly good card. No one's actually playing the card, but if you play it, it's treated like the Japanese version with a retreat cost of 2, but the card will always have the retreat cost of 1 printed on, which leads me on to a rant I've given before about the fact that it is an error card in that it's got the wrong retreat cost, but it's just an ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill rare card. If everyone's got the error on, then it's no rarer, so no. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, no. So yeah, Ditto has gone and been corrected. And that's kind of cool. And we have seen a little bit of a theme going on here with things like Chandelure and Victini. So it seems like nowadays, when these mistakes are happening, Pokemon are making an effort to fix them. And that is really kind of cool. But for some reason, that video about the Ditto being wrong is somehow the most popular video I've made this year in 2022. So I figured it was only fair to give you an update now there was an update to give. But now it's over to you guys. What do you think about this? Do you think Pokemon should have exchanged the cards? How much do you care? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games and things of that nature. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get pretty much weekly bonus pods to answer all your questions. There's a Discord where we chat Pokemon stuff, we share deck lists, etc. And I give shout-outs to lovely people like Kenneth, who is a lovely supporter over on the Patreon. Kenneth is a very lovely person, and I'm very happy they're here. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.